Rules. There are no rules. Have fun, be yourself. Okay. Introduce myself. My name's Austin Islay. I think the last time I said this, I'm a goofball, so I'm gonna probably run with that again. Um, I'm a creator, producer, creative entrepreneur, goofball. On a scale from 1 to 10, how authentically are you living right now, both online and offline? It's a hard question to answer authentically. Um, Online, probably like a 2 because I don't post enough. I don't post any like actual authentic content. It's usually just me advertising something, which is probably it's going to change. I already have some things in the work, and Tally's going to help. So thanks for that. In offline, like in person, I would say probably like an 8, 7, 8. I would think. I hope. I feel like I do a good job of letting people know when I'm screwing up versus when things are going well. I'm sure there's always room for growth there, though. Yeah, an 8. In your application, you said the year of the snake feels fitting. I did say that. I forgot. What are you letting go of / shedding? Um, Not to get weird, like past trauma for sure with my dad and like everything that surrounds that. I'm still not over it for sure, but like I do a pretty good job of pushing that down most of the time, so I don't ever actually like process it because there's always something to do. Um, so that's probably one of them. And then like just people that don't, not to sound like an asshole, but people that don't serve me, not like in a here master, here's your shit, but like people that just don't add to what's going on or subtract from what's going on, but with energy, with time, with yeah, I mean specific time's the most important resource, I guess. So I would say bad people, bad feelings, bad models, figuring out what works, what doesn't with the business, shedding potentially the whole studio, getting a new one. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of shedding going on for sure. You said you're coming into the hot seat to define yourself more clearly. How would you define yourself right now? Um, I would say like producers how I want to define myself, and that's probably like a fair definition as of right now. But like that seems a little limiting too. So I'm trying to figure out like exactly how I want to define myself. Like I've been trying to incorporate God more into my life. That's something that like has never gone away, but obviously as people do, it gets closer and farther away as like time goes on. And I find myself better at what I do in general, not just professionally, but personally when I am closer with God and spend more time with Him. So I've been trying to define myself as a child of God, but that's a very, very hard thing to do physically, especially if we're real with ourselves. Um, but I think when I wrote this, the point was more trying to define what I'm trying to do professionally because I've gotten a lot of feedback from everybody that I've been talking to that like, dude, you have 1,000 ideas, they're all really good. You have a good system as of right now, but if we're gonna go talk to people that can give you millions of dollars for a movie, then you're gonna have to get your shit together a little bit. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So speaking of Year of the Snake again, been trying to shed the static to noise ratio, figuring out what's good, what's not, and place it in neat little boxes so that I can explain it better to somebody else rather than me stumbling over my own words. Get a little bit more rehearsed. What part of you do you think people misunderstand? See, this makes me almost want to change my other answer because I don't know. Maybe I don't live as authentically as I think because I don't think that very many people actually know me personally. Like I have a lot of friends, but like more so just acquaintances and people that I've met through doing business stuff that just kind of like respect me as a business guy and think that I don't know what people think. So like it's hard to kind of answer that question. I don't even think about it that much, but um,
Do you feel like you're more known for business than for who you are?
yeah, but I mean that comes with the territory, like being especially in like the entertainment industry, like everybody's just gonna hear what they're gonna hear and think what they're gonna think, and that's fine with me, to be honest. I have like the people in my corner that I know that are there for the right reasons and do understand me. So I would say like the people that matter to me don't misunderstand me, but like the general population does. But like duh. So I don't even know if that's like if
Do you
that's a
want to
problem.
be more known for who you are?
With the right people, like with the people who give a shit enough to find out, like I'm not gonna go out there and be like, I want you to pay attention to this aspect of me, and you've never met me, but like I wouldn't do that for you if I didn't know who you were. So, yes and no, I guess it would be cool to be able to walk into a room and be like, yeah, but you know, not realistic. But I guess to try to answer your question, um, what part of you do you think people misunderstand? It's hard to answer. I would say that that I'm just as human as you are, and that's because that's something that I forget about people too. Yeah, that's a good half-assed answer. What has entrepreneurship taught you about yourself? All kinds of stuff. It's taught me that I definitely don't have the capability to sit behind a desk. When I do it for editing, I want to blow my brains out. I'm getting better at that, so it's a little bit more fun for me. But I definitely like people. I like being around people. I like coming up with solutions to problems, especially when like it applies to the realm that I'm excited about, which is obviously like film and music and um, entertainment. You kind of just creative stuff. Yeah, it taught me that I'm more creative than I realize, more business focused, but like there's creativity in everything. And I find that the most of the things that are actually like that are more creative but then done through a more of like an entrepreneurship business lens end up being the things that work the best, like the media day events that we do, and um, obviously this movie stuff that we're working on. What has been the most challenging slash hardest lesson you've learned? The most challenging, hardest lesson I've learned about business is that it is like if you're running one, it's on you 100%. There is nobody um, to like help you. I mean, there's people to help you, so that's not true. But if you screw up, you screw up, and the business screws up typically, unless you already have like a big system or a big corporation. But even then, it might end up being a worse problem if you screw up. So, um, and I knew that, but like you know things, and you still don't necessarily like know things without experiencing it. So I'd say yeah, that's probably one of the hardest ones. That and like since you are a business person, people do misunderstand a little bit and think more that like you're just in it for money or you're just in it for the power or the attention or the whatever, when like in reality it's just so that again I don't blow my brains out doing something else. That and yeah, I think that's probably the hardest part, is that like you're on your own, for lack of a better phrase. But that's not quite true, because that's like the coolest part is that you're not on your own, because you have so many people around you, like with your team and with the people that support you. So I don't know, a bunch of paradoxes. Yeah, it's close enough. What do you want artists to get out of being part of the community you're building through Passage? I would say the knowledge that you're capable of doing most things yourself until you're not, and then by the time that happens, you'll have the team and the people and the resources and everything around you, because life just works out that way. Um, Take more control over your artistry, because again it's like running your own business, nobody's going to do it for you. And in Pittsburgh you have more resources than you might think, and people are a lot nicer than you might think typically with their resources. I guess like confidence and knowledge of the things that you have, or awareness of the things you have around you, people, places, things, ideas, whatever, that you can tap into to get where you want to be. And there's not one way to do it, which is kind of annoying, but also the fun and beautiful part of it. So, yeah. Talk to me about Islay Charities. Islay Charities exists to provide supplemental hands-on learning resources for students before graduation. The goal is to provide paid work and access to a network of people, places, and things that you wouldn't necessarily think you have direct access to as a student. Being in Pittsburgh specifically makes that a little bit kind of provides us a cool place to be, just because Pittsburgh is pretty small and the entertainment industry is pretty finite, um, and it's pretty undefined at this point. So there's a lot of ability for specifically young students that have a ton of resources in college, because that's what college does, provide a ton of resources. The goal with this isn't to like say that school isn't enough or school is bad. It's just to simply provide supplemental things for students to be able to do and use at school, because I have heard that there aren't necessarily a ton of entertainment related internships, jobs, placements in Pittsburgh. You typically have to go abroad for that. So the goal is to kind of build the infrastructure to support students staying here if they so choose, in the creative world. And then obviously kind of grow this across different cities that also aren't necessarily the main hubs, and kind of do the same thing, and cross populate and do cool competitions and 48-hour film fests and music festivals and fun stuff, things that I think would make learning a lot more fun. There's a model, my business partner Jem over at Bill Kent University. I'm sure there's other ones, but it's in Turkey. They had like Radio Bill Kent, where they like I was like around 100 students put on multiple like size shows all the way up to like 1,500 people, and they went through everything from like finding the DJ, securing the location, figuring out security, porta potties, food, drink, pretty much everything. Um, and to me that's like, especially in film and music and pretty much anything creative, you can learn all of the rules there are to know, but if you don't just do it, you're not really gonna learn very much. You're not gonna have much to show for it anyway, and you get out and you know how to use a camera really well, but you don't really have the feel or the eye or the experience to know what to do with those rules. So I think it is a little bit backwards with the like entertainment education. I think it should be more hands on, and then after you do the thing, you get taught what the thing that you did was specifically, or like why that little button on your camera turns the ISO down and what the hell even is ISO. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's just a ideally a resource for students to be able to take advantage of, to bolster their portfolio, find paid work, internships, um, people, all kinds of stuff. Um, but I guess more specifically, we'll be working on movies like this Fleury movie that we're working on in collaboration with the NHL, about a hockey player, Theo Fleury, with a guy named Mike Young, who's has a very similar mission as we do, who will be sitting on the board for Islay Charities. He's very interested in helping students produce this film. It's a big boy film, not like a short film, but the budget's around 10 million for this. So to be able to provide this kind of work to students, kind of unprecedented, at least in Pittsburgh. I don't know about everywhere else, but we're not worried about everybody else yet. Yeah, that's probably enough rambling about that. If your wildest dreams had already come true, what would your future self tell you to stop holding back? Get out of your own way. Have a little bit more grace with yourself to allow yourself to make the changes that you already know you need to change. They're not that difficult. It's definitely not worth worrying about so much. And make sure to remember to enjoy the journey, because once you get there, I'm sure you're going to be pissed and want some more anyway. So there you go. What are you learning to love about yourself outside of business? My patience is growing, so I'm very fond of that happening. I feel like I'm becoming a better son and a better boyfriend and a better friend in general. So I love those things. I love my empathy, but it's not like a super like flat surface level. Like, oh my god, I just care for people. It's like I care for people, but like in the way that I'm gonna call you a lazy piece of shit if you're a lazy piece of shit. um, not in those words necessarily, but probably though too. So I love myself more than I did the last time we talked, so that's good.
I actually have one more question before you
Go
answer
ahead.
the next one. So outside of business, how
Yeah.
would you define yourself?
Define myself.
Yeah, who are you outside of business?
I want to say child of God, but it's hard to do that genuinely, because like I don't think that I live up to that. But like the whole point is to say it and try it anyway, from what I understand. So that's what I'm gonna say. I'm a child of God. Is that good enough?
Yes and no, I think you could go deeper with it. I want to know who Austin is.
All
I feel
right.
like I don't know you
I
beyond
know.
Pasage.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know. Like, how do you put a singular word on a person? That's what like always been my struggle. Like, I can't put a singular word on like a business idea, let alone like
Yeah.
a whole person. So like that's always been hard for me to like define myself.
Do you feel like a lot of who you are is your business?
Yes, but like only because like the business is like the means to the end for me, I guess, to enact the change that I want to see. So like education reform is a big thing for me. I dropped out of college. I thought that it was not worth the money that actually my parents spent on it. Thank you. Very lucky to be able to be in that position and then be an asshole and decide to throw it away, which is crazy. But um, not really when like you'd have to be in my shoes, you know. But I, yeah, I mean, I want to be able to provide. I want to be able to provide reason, like just like be a connector. Like so, when I say producer, I don't even necessarily just mean like in a business like situation. Like the role of a producer finds the right people, the right places, the right things, and puts them together at the right time. And like I kind of want to be that personally as well. So like if you're struggling with X, Y, and Z, I have a solution for you. Um, if you're trying to start a business, I have a solution for you. If you're trying to buy a house, I have a solution for you. Um, if you need your ex-boyfriend beat up, I got a solution for you. You know, like I don't know, just like a problem solver is what I hope to be, through the lens of God, because that starts to be like a bit of a what's the word, presumptuous state of like thinking and being, because then you're just like assuming that you have the solution for everybody, and that's not always the case, and most likely isn't the case most of the time. It's just like trying to at least like help get there, you know. So the balance, I guess, is learning like when and when not to be like, hey man, I can solve it for you, you know.
Mhm.
um, that doesn't define me though, you know, so I'm kind of
Well,
skirting
okay.
your
I have
question
another
still, you know.
question.
Go ahead.
It seems like you pour a lot of your energy into other people and your
Yeah.
business.
Mm.
How do you pour energy into yourself?
um
Are you pouring energy into yourself?
yeah, I would say so. Like the business stuff, like helping people and like doing my business pours back into me, because like I know that it's gonna help get me where I want to be. um and like I have plenty of time to hang out and screw around and do what I like to do and recharge and be lazy and whatever.
And how do you recharge then?
Uh,
That's a bit of who you are.
right.
What does that look like?
Um, Genuinely like hanging out with the people that I would identify as my friends and family, like my girlfriend, my mom, my brother, my brother's buddies, Bobby. Um, Hanging out with them and just like shooting the shit is probably a good way to recharge, but pretty typically it ends up back in business anyway. But like that's okay though, because like I think we are supposed to be like creators and creatives, so like coming up with ideas and all that is almost recharging to me, but then it ends up fucking draining energy back, because then I'm like, okay, how do I figure it out? And then you have to figure it out. But um I don't know, is that answer your question? No, probably not.
I feel like you're a little bit closed off when it comes to who Austin actually is.
And that's probably why people are misunderstanding, probably, you know,
Yeah.
and why
I mean, I see that.
maybe authentically not the case. But I'm having a hard time because I genuinely don't know how to answer like the question of define yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because like not even like what if I'm wrong, but like I'm probably not going to be right with the definition no matter what word I put on it, because like every time I come up with an answer in my head I'm like, no, like that doesn't even, that doesn't do half of it, you know. Like at the end of the day I want to be president of the United States, so like, but that's not like my label, and if that doesn't happen I'm cool. That's why I keep coming back to like child of God is like the only thing that I can like possibly put that would encompass all of that, and it does seem like kind of like a surface level answer, but like it's not in my head, you know, because there's like a lot of layers behind that. Like you have to be able to show up honestly, like in authentically, which seemingly I'm not so good at. So how do I work on that, Tally? I don't know.
I think that you need to find ways to pour back into yourself and separate yourself a bit from your business, is what I'm seeing and hearing.
Probably.
Seems like you don't know what fills your cup up.
I don't know. I like playing music, playing guitar, hanging out, watching a movie, reading the Bible. I should gotta read that Bible more. That would probably help. Is that enough? Oh yeah, we did that one. All right. How has it felt to be seen in the hot seat? Any final thought? I'm already done. Oh
Yeah.
jeez. I see why you were pushing. How has it felt? Good. A bit revealing.
What have you learned?
I've learned that I gotta figure out how to be a little bit more authentic and probably pour into myself a little bit more. Like you said, I'm what's that called? Stealing your words. But it's been good. Yeah, I got some work to do. You know.
Don't we all?
Yeah, amen. Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely got some work to do. That's the easiest way to put it. Any final thoughts? Final thoughts. Well, first of all, thank you for doing it. I think that what you're doing is super cool and obviously impacts a ton of people, and I'm sure it will continue to. Got any fun resources for being more authentic?
She's right here.
Oh, yeah, right. That's the whole point. Nice. Identify a need and fill it. That's what's up.
Thank you, Austin.
Yeah, thank you.